Pax was raw fed she was never interested in meat kibble, but she was, that's how we got onto raw feeding, because we tried her on tins, we tried her on kibble, and through research we came onto raw feeding. And she loved it. She really loved it, but I don't think it loved her. She had a lot of allergy issues. She always had like smelly, infected ears. She'd end up with hotspots a couple of times a year. She'd always be in the cone of shame because she'd like scratch herself red raw with all these hotspots everywhere. And then the final straw really was she started getting lumps around her mouth. And when we had one of those removed, it was a deep-rooted infection. So we started looking at the diet suspiciously and thinking all of this bacteria in the raw meat, is that what's causing the lumps around her mouth? And we put that query to the vet, and they said, well, it could very well be, given that it's, it would be a source of bacteria. So we just thought, we're vegan anyway, let's try it. We'd started to sort of see about it on Facebook, various groups, and we'd started to research a little bit and found out about Bramble, one of the the longest living dogs, and thought, there's got to be something to this, let's look into it, and just started her on various foods. And she was a bit disappointed to start with. She missed her raw meat, but now she absolutely loves it. She bounces up and down for her food, and she'll eat anything and everything now, Pax. She loves kibble, tins, fresh, whatever.
The lot, fantastic. And she's got such a variety now. I mean, that's the wonderful thing with plant-based food, is there's so many new products. Last year there were 6 new companies. So your solution is there, that you've got the ability, plus obviously your home cooking. But did her symptoms go away with the itchy skin and the
touching wood? But yeah, she's not had any more of the lumps. She's not had any hotspots, which is a miracle. She's not been in a cone since we started with the plant-based feeding. So that's amazing, like for her, because as I say, it was at least twice a year that she was in this cone, and it would take like a month to clear up. Her ears don't smell anymore, they're not all gungy and horrible. She doesn't get tear staining anymore. So and before she went plant-based, we actually had a photo shoot with her, and we had to ask the photographer to get rid of the edit it out afterwards. But now she hasn't got any at all. It's all gone. So yeah, there's been loads, and also she's 7, and she's like a puppy again. She'd started to show signs of aging, but now she's just like a puppy again, and especially now all this tear staining's gone as well. She looks like one as well as acting like one.
Well done you, because I mean, honestly, that's you that's found the right formulation for both of them. But you being vegan yourself, that you're getting your health from your food, you're getting the right nutrients. And by the same token, that's exactly what's happened with Pax, is she wasn't getting the right nutrients that she needs from a raw food diet. Even though you do the research and you read, and people say, oh no, you must give the least processed food that there is. And I think that's why people turn to raw food, don't they? Or probably why you would.
That's it. Obviously being vegan, it was pretty traumatic feeding her that, but believed I was doing the best thing for her, so I persevered with it. But when it didn't seem to be the right thing anymore, and the food has now proved that it wasn't the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, meat does carry all its own problems. I mean, besides the cruelty aspect, but just looking at meat, we've got the growth promoters in there, we've got what the cattle are being treated with in the feedlots, the antibiotics, that'll all come through.
And this is even organic meat as well, so it couldn't have been better meat, I suppose. But still, like you say, all those things.
Still organic meat would carry those. I mean, even any organic farmers, they still will be giving anti-parasitic treatment to those cows, or whatever animals they have. But at the end of the day, choosing plants, like with us, you're choosing the protein from the source. So there's no sort of recycled protein through an animal. You're getting the purest natural. And so are you mainly home cooking now, or are you choosing or you doing 50-50? What
She went off my home cooking.
Oh,
some
okay.
reason.
Yes. They do, don't they?
Yeah.
And then
So I will try it again.
Mm.
But yeah, for some, she was eating it, and Bodhi absolutely loved it as well. I'm not sure with Bodhi, it's partly like I just want to eat what my big sister's eating. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But Pax went off it, and then Bodhi did as well. So they eat a variety of, like you say, there's so many products now. You know, even just when they went vegan, just over like 18 months ago, there was hardly anything to choose from, and now there's just so much choice now. So they have everything from kibble, solo vegetal tins, the do good trays as well. So that's freshly cooked, just not by me.
Yes, I'm so pleased you're supporting Do Good, because they're such a lovely company, and probably one of the most sustainable and nutritious foods that you can actually get. They really are for dogs, because obviously that's all homemade. We've got no soya in there it's a wonderful sustainable good, and I'm glad they like that. But then yes, it's just varying it, and they're so much like most of the dogs I deal with, is that owners say, oh yes, no, I'm definitely going to do the home cooking, my dog loves it. And then they'll email me and say, no, I'm gonna have to go back to kibble. So dogs, they're a bit like us. They need that variety. They need the crunch occasionally. Then they go back to wanting the home cooked. So thank goodness we've got it. And well done with doing that with both of them. So I'm so pleased that I spoke to you, because that's such an interesting story about. I didn't realize about Pax having been raw fed, and that I mean that's what we all want to hear, and that's our consolation for all of us, is that the benefits of the plant-based, we all need to stick with it and believe that we're doing the right thing, which we are.
Yeah, the perseverance was key, because as I say, she wasn't as excited for her food in the start. It would have been easy to give up, but I'm so glad that I stuck with it, because the benefits have just been well worth, and pretty quickly the benefits started coming through as well. But we're 18 months on now, and she's just loads better than she was.
Perfect. Oh, well done.